Stage, let's welcome our very first ripple maker. We have Joke Hoetmer, who is an established and seasoned visionary. For those of you that know Joke, I don't know anybody that cannot look at this woman and fall in love at first sight. She's just absolutely amazing. She's been my mentor as well as a mentor for many hundreds of other entrepreneurs over the years. She's an influencer and she's creating a platform for women to be seen, to be heard, and to find their voice so that they can live an empowered and hopeful future. She's also the founder of the Brave and Bright Foundation. Now, I first met Joke many years ago at a public speaking event that I was going to speak at. And she joined Brand Builders Club. She ended up going on to become an ambassador of the Brand Builders Club. She was traveling around. We were flying around on planes and trains, and we were always going somewhere until COVID hit. And that enabled both of us to really take a step back and say, hang on a minute, what is it that we're building? What is that next step? And I just feel so blessed that both of our movements are constantly dancing together, and the stuff that I'm doing is dancing with the stuff Joke's doing and vice versa. So it's been a real honor to be a part of helping her to shape her vision and mission, but to also see her now take that out to the world. So Joke is currently publishing her new book, Tears Behind the Smile, which describes in compelling detail her adventurous journey, and I can imagine there's a few adventures in this book, of courage to reinvent herself and find new ways of hope in the storm of her life's experiences. I'm going to ask Joke to tell us more about that shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Ripple Makers welcome for the amazing Joke Hoetmer. Yeah. Joke! I am so excited to get this amazing family creator who's got a gazillion adopted children, who's been on a massive mission to change the lives of children all over the world. Joke, welcome back to RippleFEST.
Thank you, Sammy.
It's nice welcome to be back because you've been on this stage about 5 times now. Joke, for those of you that don't know you, and I can't imagine there's many people in this community that don't know you yet, but for those that don't, could you tell us a little bit about what you do and why you do it?
Sammy, it's taken a long journey to get to this point because I had to find my truth and be honest about it, and then actually get to the point that I'm the common denominator in all these issues and crises that I have been. So by doing that, I have recognized I'm a woman with a past, but I've definitely stepped into my future because that past has not defined me. And that is what I'm trying to get across to women, first of all, women and then men, to get their past to be recognized that it does not define them. We all have shadows. We've all got hidden things in our lives that aren't actually perfect.
Amazing, Joke. Right.
You can't hear me. Is it Sammy that's gone? Okay, keep on talking. Okay, so yes, it's exciting that I've really come out with this book, which is Tears Behind the Smile. And yeah, people always see me smiling and so, but oh boy, did I have tears, a lot of tears. And that is the thing is that we have been hidden behind closed doors. Nobody knows what is going on. And that is what I am targeting, is these women, and every woman I am speaking to have some form of tears behind the smile. And I feel that we've all had, look, it's not all about abuse, but abuse is very much a target, all the different forms of abuse. But the exciting thing is that I finally got out of it. I got it on paper. I tell you, that was the hardest thing for me to do. And I did it in 4.5 months, finally. So this is now, I'm coming out. I'm raw and real in this. There's no hiding. Just myself, and I want to create this movement where women would experience to be themselves, and there's no shame in your past, because the past does not define you.
And I've seen how hard you have worked on this book, and you're actually now on your second book, but let's stick to the first one while we are on this session today. Now, Joké, what I know of you is that, like, it seems to me like you were born a change maker. Like you came straight out of the womb and you were a change maker as soon as you took your first breath. But let's go back to when you realized that you were a change maker. At what point in your life? Take us back to the moment that you realized that you were. What happened?
This was in Africa, because I grew up in Africa. I'm originally from Ireland, and I grew up in Africa. And when the Congo refugees came, and these children were orphaned, they had no toys, they had no home. This made such an impact in me. And I said to my mom that day, I'm going to make a difference. 12. I'm going to make a difference. And we had to go into our toys and give our best toys for every family. It ended up that we had to learn to give. And I'm still doing that today with my grandchildren. One of their things that they have, that they really love, they must give away before they actually open it and play it and play with it and ruin it. So yeah, at 12, I knew. And I rescued an orphan in the sea, and I couldn't swim myself, and it was 17 and I was 12. So it started there. It started there.
Wow. And you went on to then take all of those things that, you know, I mean, I've heard loads of stories. Fortunately, I've flown around the world with you. We've spent loads of time. I've heard all the great stories of things that your mum did and things that you went in and helped your mum to do. And I get the feeling that your mum was a very strong foundation for you in becoming that change maker. Now, your mum, it sounds to me, was also very entrepreneurial. So were you also an entrepreneur from a very young age, or was it that, you know, you were in an area where, you know, the economy wasn't as strong as it could be necessarily, and so you had to find ways of being resourceful? So do you think you've always been an entrepreneur, or was it something that you learned?
Absolutely. I had a club called Secret 7. And
I don't know about this one.
We had cloaks that we'd made ourselves on those Singer sewing machines, and we had hoods, and then we'd go into this little outhouse, which was our clubhouse, the 7 of us, and we'd plan. And what we did is we made bags with all goodies, and we sent it to UNICEF at that time to actually start giving it to the people that were in crisis. So that was also at the age of 13. I was doing that. I was the leader of the Secret 7. Not very secret.
What a brilliant
Don't
story.
push me out. These stories come out. Forgot about that.
And I mean, obviously you wrote in, you were one of our change makers and ripple makers that wrote in The Law of Brand Attraction too. Guys and girls, if you haven't got that book, make sure you go to thelawofbrandattraction.com, go buy that book. In fact, all 3 of the ripple makers that are on the stage tonight are in that book. And that's something that we do as ripple makers. We collaborate to create things that will make a massive difference in the world. And Joké, that's something that is a big part of you, isn't it? The collaborative side. And one thing that I mean, I'm biased so many things about you, but one of the things I admire most is that you have an idea, and the first thing you do is go to who can help me. Whereas most people I know, most entrepreneurs, go into flight and freeze over how do I do this? How do I do this? But actually, you've never been somebody that I know as a how do I do this. You're a who knows how to do this person. And that's one of the things that I really admire about you and what you're doing. And if only so many more people applied themselves using that philosophy, they'd get a lot further, a lot faster. Have you grown up with that, or was that something you came up with yourself?
No. Being 6 girls, we always used to have to work together, and nobody was the head. and nobody was the tail. That's in my book. We work together because teamwork is always the most powerful thing. And for me, this book that I've put out there, it's about me, but the book is not mine. It's the reader's. It's the reader's book. Why I've done that is because I've recognized that this community that I want to develop is to get these people together, to be able to be free to be themselves, and there's no judgment. And that story comes through the book, that I had to not judge myself, because I think we are the hardest people on ourselves. And that shame that we have is carried through us. And then you feel you haven't got confidence, and the lies just become bigger and bigger and bigger. And that is what I'm addressing. There's no shame. I mean, by putting my heart and soul out in that book, what I find is that nobody actually knows those stories, truthfully. It's gone into a depth that I'm really being vulnerable. Yeah. And I have nothing to lose by being vulnerable, because it's actually my power.
Yeah, I used to see vulnerability as a weakness, but I've learned, especially being surrounded by the ripple makers that you're hearing from tonight, what they're really teaching me constantly is that your strength is in your vulnerability. Now, I know that you've got a few vulnerabilities where it comes to business. Technology is one of them. I know it's a vulnerability for me as well. What would you say has been the hardest challenge that you've faced as you've been building your business? Has it been around technology? Is there something else?
Focus.
Focus. How many of you also share that challenge?
To get the job done. Yeah. Because I've got so many different things that are in me, and I'm an information hoarder. I hoard information. I just take all this information in, like whoops, I go here, whoops, I go here. The biggest challenge I had is to focus and depend on what I really needed to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that there's a lot of entrepreneurs that share that same challenge with you, but you've got really focused over this last 6 months. You've been really on it. You've been really focused. I've seen the things that you've been doing behind the scenes, so I can't wait for you to get out there and launch them. Now, before we talk about your book and what you're doing, I'd love to know the answer to this question, which I'm asking all of our entrepreneurs that are featuring on RippleFEST this month, is if you had to build your business all over again, what would you do sooner? Not necessarily what would you do, but what would you do sooner that you wish that you hadn't taken so long to do in your business now?
To bring the people together that have the same impact and vision that I have. And just on the RippleFEST, you know how many people I'm connecting now and saying, let's build this community together, because together we have more impact than just one. It's not just a one-person story. Each one of us give a different angle. And that is what I definitely will do. And now I'm being diligent on connecting with those people. It's not just a whole lot of names. I'm now connecting and collaborating with them, because it's a teamwork.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you make the relationships, you build the relationships, even while you're not ready to get out there and launch your movement. I've seen you supporting others to build their movements while you get ready to build yours. And of course, now because you've been giving, that infinite flow of receiving is now coming to you, because you've never asked for anything of anyone. And now's the time that you now need that support from others. So Joké, as we round up for today, as we wrap up this first incredible interview, they go so fast, don't they? Tell us about your book. Tell us how can we get hold of it? When are you launching it? How can we support you?
Okay, the book is a true story of a life's journey of discovering what is right and wrong. When you are very protected in your childhood, and with a religious background, you have no idea what is right and wrong except according to what you were taught. I had to go through that journey. And the honest journey is about finding yourself, finding it, and actually not taking yourself too seriously in that, and finding hope in the crisis. And the biggest thing was for me is, oh dear, I'm the common denominator in all these things. And it had to be a real big magnifying glass of looking at myself to see where I need to change, because the change starts within you. And you can't just hide, because it's going to catch up with you. It does. It caught up with me with vertigo. The trauma just caught up. And now that I'm facing it, everything is sorted out. So your health issues, everything gets sorted out. Your life started getting, when you hide things, if things are in the dark, things just start festering. When you blip it out, and that is what I want. I want people to be free to say, this is me. This is me. And you know what? This is a cup. Look at this.
I love it.
Be brave, be bold, be you. This is it. I'm just encouraging the people to be brave, to be bold, and to be you, to live, love, and laugh again. That the tears that are hidden, those triggers that are hidden, must come out. It's like a boil, you've got to pop it. Sorry, I'm a nurse. Pop it so that it comes out and the festering comes out, so that you can be and blossom and be the best version of yourself. I am now at this age really feeling, for the first time in my life, I'm free.
That's amazing, Joké. Amazing. Joké, tell us, when is the book going to be published? Is it still a secret? Are you going to let us know?
It's all in the pipeline. It's all in the pipeline. They're doing their magic. And so what I would love the people to be able to watch me on Facebook, Joke Hoetmer, and connect with me and share with me if you want to know this more about the book, and I'll let you know when it's out. It's going to be out on all the different levels, and these professionals are doing it, but I would really like it to promote it. If you haven't been abused, to buy it and to give it to somebody that you would know. It's those abused women that really need to read this to be comforted, because there's lifelines in it. And in those lifelines, they will find encouragement apart from the story and relating to it.
Yeah.
That is what I would like. And really, it's going to be out, I think, early September or end of August. And but you people will know.
Hey, all right. Thank you, Joké. Guys and girls, give it up for Joké. Joké, thank you so much for being you, for being true to what you're doing. Daniel's giving it like this backstage, loving it, loving it. Guys and girls, you're in the One Drop Movement group. If you're watching this live right now, you're watching it in the One Drop Movement group. You might be watching it on YouTube. Wherever you're watching it, do reach out to Joke Hoetmer. Just type her name in. You can see her name on the screen right now. Type her name into Google, go Google her, go find her, and make sure you connect with her. And you never know, you could be collaborating with Joké on your next big thing. So Joké, thank you so very much for coming to join us and for being the very first person to wear a one drop in the world. And she's still got it on all these years later.
It's a privilege. Nearly knocks me out at night, but I've always got it on.
Bless you. Thank you, Joké. Well, guys and girls, what were your takeaways from that? Let's see your takeaways in the comments. Please.